ain't going back. Not gonna buy into all that. Hey, ain't gonna hide. Gonna let all the fears slide. Got Mother Nature is on my side. Got all of the loving.
Hello, amazing people, and welcome to the Oddyssey of Truth 2.5. Our last chat, we talked about the law and how it relates to us, and basically reclaiming our power and our sovereignty. So today we're going to have a bit more of a chat about taking responsibility for who we are. So welcome, Lorenzo.
Hello, so happy to be here. Nice to be feeling responsible on a rainy morning for me in Japan.
We're very responsible people.
Very responsible. So yeah, we're gonna delve in, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah. We mentioned the law and how most of it is basically people who want to rule us, not really telling us the truth, and they just want us to get along, to go alongside with their plan. And of course, when people do that, they often get somewhere they don't want to be, and they start yelling and screaming. And too often, people want to point at the world and say, "It's your fault, world. You should change." But of course, it's not a real good plan, because it's easier to change yourself, one person, than to go out and change 7 billion people, I would say. So yeah, we want to talk about responsibility and mistakes. Are they mistakes, or are they really mistakes? Like in the movies, take one, take two. Are they just there, dress rehearsal, you stuff that up a bit, go and do it again, and this time do it better?
Yeah, I've made mistakes pretty much every day. I make a mistake of one kind or another. I think we all do. You eat too much, you put on the wrong shoes when you go for a walk, you buy the wrong thing, or you say the wrong thing to someone. And it really comes down to understanding that you can become better from seeing what you have done or have not done in relation to what you would like to do. We talked about the law last time in the real you, and understanding, who you are and who you're not. And for this chat, I would love to maybe explore a little bit about how you can understand yourself and what you do once you understand what's going on in the world. Once you understand, perhaps, do you want to change the entire world, as Cambell said? Do you want to change 7 billion people? You want to get off your ass and make sure everyone makes a new rule, new laws, new government, new systems for recycling, new systems for being, nice to animals, et cetera, or maybe there's a faster route, to the kind of life you would like to live. Maybe there's a sweeter route to picking up the pieces of your own mistakes and putting them back together, as a new puzzle in how you would like to see your life.
Exactly. Start with the man or woman in the mirror. We know we're creators, and literally we create everything that we experience, good and bad. I hate to tell you guys, but it's you. I'm sorry. So if things go awry and aren't going the way that we want them to go, what we need to do is, with our perspective, is understand that there are no mistakes. If you learn something, then you've gone forward. That's clearly not a mistake. That's clearly not something bad. That's something good. So, this whole, of course, they've turned mistake into one word, mistake, so that we think that it means something bad, but clearly it doesn't. It's like a misstep. You just trip. What happens when you accidentally trip walking down the road? You take a misstep. Do you stop, sit down, and start crying and ask people to come and rebuild the road because you tripped up? Or do you just keep walking and go, whoops? And this is the thing. It's like when you make a mistake in life, just keep walking. Just go, okay, I stuffed up there. I could do this better. Where's the lesson? Great. Okay, let's keep going. But they want you to be in shame. And guys, don't be ashamed of anything. It's just mistakes. We're all human. We're here to learn. That's the deal. And this is how we learn. So I would say make more mistakes and you'll get to where you want to go faster. Embrace the mistake.
You get stronger from embracing your mistake instead of blame. The governments are set up, especially how Canada used to be, that, if you have, let's say, a physical ailment or a mental ailment or a health ailment, that, somehow they should help you more, or somehow they should change the rules, or somehow they should bend to fix your inability to be strong. And if you start screaming in that direction, then you're actually arguing for your right to be not strong, right? You could say, everyone's got I don't want to take anything away from anyone that's hurt themselves or they have a physical impairment or whatever, but getting stronger and working your way over things is how you can make your life better. And it comes down to taking personal responsibility for, like, why does your foot hurt? Let's say, why do you have stomach pains? Why do you have trouble sleeping? Why do you have stress? You can fill in your own blanks as to what physical ailments or mental anguish may be pestering you at the moment. But the first time that you decide that it's your responsibility is the first moment you'll start to be able to, in my opinion, make a path out of those situations, those mistakes.
We're living in uncertain times. We don't know what's going to go on. Job security is pretty much out the window, dependent a lot on, the choices that you make and the information you want to give. So what are you going to do? Are you looking for something new? Are you looking for a new way to create wealth for your family that is, shall we say, Babylon proof? And on top of that, are you looking for a good group of people to work with, a good network? Because as we know, going forward, this is all about creating networks of people on our frequency who have the same morals and ethics and intent, and who all want to walk forward together and create something so much better. So if you're looking for some good products, a good business, and most of all, a good group of people, I think we may have found something you might be interested in.
You don't need to sell your soul to make a living. You don't need to sell your soul to have your family happy, healthy, and free. A simple shift in what you would like to do, the same amount of energy, and it can all come back to you. Freedom Shift Life. Cambell did it, I did it. Happy to see you there.
freedomshift.life. The universe isn't out to get you. And I think a lot of people think that it is. And there's this whole narrative of, the prison planet and, oh my God, we're trapped down here and poor little us. There's all these evil beings that are manipulating us. And look, that's 100% true if you believe it. If you believe that story, it will be your reality. If you live into that, then yeah, exactly, that will be true for you. But if you don't, we have choice, guys. We don't have to live into that. We can say the world's amazing and it's wonderful. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on at the moment that, can be looked at as not necessarily good, but it can also be looked at as, this is waking us up. If this didn't happen, where would we have been in 20 years going along that same path, destroying ourselves, destroying, our earth, working ourselves to death, giving all our power and energy away to parasites? I mean, we need this, guys. This is, the mistake was us believing, right? All these people who want to tell us how to live. But so we can, look at reality whatever way we want. We can say, poor little me, the world's turned against me. Oh my God, I'm locked up and there's something on my face. Or we can go, wow, okay, I see it. I just followed the wrong people. What was I doing listening to these people? I didn't look into them. I didn't, use my own intellect. I didn't take responsibility, and now look where I am. So I need to change something. That was a mistake. It was a mistake. So now I'm going to change my perspective and go in that direction because I want something different than what they want for me. And of course, we have the power to do that, guys.
I mean, we have to change by ourselves. I can give you an example, since maybe this is a bit about talking about ourselves, and I'll go first. An easy one. When I first came to Japan, maybe 7-8 years ago, I was 5 kilos heavier than I am right now. And at the time, I wasn't so clever, let's say, and I used to blame their tailoring or their sizing or their small stature on the clothes I couldn't fit in. Right? I would go shopping and go, man, this is a great shirt. Oh my goodness, it doesn't fit over my belly, or these are great pants, and it doesn't fit over my ass, etc. And I'm going, oh, I can't believe these, But over the last few years, as I've stopped indulging in garbage foods, let's say, and I've cut down anything that isn't working for me as far as what makes my body happy, and I've lost those 5 kilos. It's amazing. I go shopping now and I fit into all those clothes. This is a shirt, a couple of years ago. I've had it for a couple of years. Looks new because I couldn't wear it. I was too big to fit into it. And then over the last couple of years, I said, I don't need the extra chocolate bar. I don't need to go out drinking to get rid of my stress. And I don't need the extra cinnamon bun in the morning or whatever. And so I took responsibility for my own health and my own weight and my own body. It wasn't like, I've heard people go, oh my goodness, she can eat 2 cinnamon buns and I can only eat 1. So it's my body's fault. I can't, understand why I'm so fat. And you go, well, maybe you need no cinnamon buns, right? I had to get to that myself. So that's an easy way, for me to share that I had to take responsibility. You can't blame the tailor if your suit doesn't fit, so to speak.
No,
Right? You gotta,
you can't
or
blame
your
the
slow
maker
metabolism, or yeah, you can't blame the maker.
if the body doesn't fit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't eat lunch because I don't need lunch. I'm going to talk about myself again. I don't eat bread, more or less, because it doesn't work for me. It just makes my body unhappy. And since I started listening to my own body, I've basically become where I always wanted to be, physically speaking, in my weight, anyways. And now I fit into all the lovely Japanese. We won't talk about the small feet they have. I can't fix that, and some of the shoes that don't fit me. But for the rest, it's working out.
and that's just it. You wanted something different. You saw that you'd made some mistakes, so you changed them. You understood that it was you. You're the one that caused it. You were the only one that could fix it. You changed it. You fixed it. And now you're happier. I mean, that's just basically how it works, guys. That's it. And one thing I'll say is, as far as listening to other people and being, doing silly things, we need to, when we make decisions, just stop and think, where is this going to get you? What are the results of this decision? Because I think too many people just go in, make decisions and start acting on them, and they haven't, extrapolated out where this is going to take them, where they're going to end up. And then they end up somewhere, and what happens? They start screaming and pointing at the world when every step of the way it was their fault. So yeah, this is a big thing, responsibility. So, spend some time, intelligent people think, if I do this, where's it going to lead me? And we all do this when we talk to people. We know if we walk up to someone and insult them, they're not going to be happy, right? So we don't do it. But we tend to not do it long term, right? If we're making a decision, we don't tend to say, well, where is this going to get me in 12 months or 5 years? So I think that's, something we do need to look at. We need to live in the now, but our actions need to be getting us somewhere we want to go. And because otherwise we get caught in these circles, we keep making the same mistakes. And then when you make the mistake, you prove to yourself that you're right. Your ego, you go, the world's crap, it's so hard. And so then you go and act like an idiot at work. And so you get sacked. And then you go, see, the world is hard. It does suck. And then, of course, you become more angry and you get more of the results. But the same happens the opposite way. You can go, you know what? I'm a creator. I can do whatever I want. And you can make a change. You go, wow, look what I did. And then you make a bigger change and a bigger change. And it's the same thing. So, with your limitations, if you fight for them, you get to keep them. And it's all perspective. I drove my car into a tree last year. I don't know how fast I was going because I was actually unconscious, but I think it was 60 or 70 Ks, no brakes, hit a tree, destroyed my car, which I really like that car as well. And my hand hasn't moved. My arm is working now, but my hand hasn't moved in a year. And I can tell you what I didn't do. I did not sit down and start crying and saying, poor little me. Oh my God, I've got an injury. Oh my God, the world's so bad. What am I going to do now? I just sat there and I went, well, that's going to take a bit of time to heal. What can I do? And of course, I mean, if you know me and you've seen me in the last year, you'll see what I did. I figured out I could sit down and I could talk and I could make videos. And so I did, and so this is what we need to do. Things will happen, and it's not what happens that matters. It's how you react to them. Because the same thing can happen to two different people. And depending on how they react, you will get two completely different outcomes. A quick story. There were two, a journalist went to interview two men. They were brothers. One was a successful businessman and one was a career thief who was in jail. And he went and interviewed them both. And when he was talking to them, he found out that their father was a criminal, a career criminal. And so he went to the guy who was in jail and he said, listen, tell me, why do you think your life turned out this way? And the man looked up and he said, what do you mean? with a father like mine, how could it turn out any different? And he went, okay. Then he went to the other brother who was successful. And he said, tell me, why do you think your life turned out this way? And the guy looked at him and said, well, with a father like mine, how could it turn out any different? Perspective, right? One saw it like, I'm locked into this because that's who my dad is. I can't change. The other one went, that's my dad. He's pretty much everything I don't want to be. So it's up to me to change the future, to change my life, to change my children's life, and to go in a different direction. How could I do anything different? Right? And to both of those people, there was no other choice. So it just shows you it's all perspective.
Yeah, and who knows how deep or how high your responsibility can take you. I mean, we're in some ways talking on a surface level of responsibility for your job or your health or your what you eat, but what else is possible? You know, what else can grow from responsibility? Can you take responsibility for your consciousness? Can you take responsibility for your belief system? You know, can you take responsibility for how you communicate and what you create, you know, beyond the normal everyday of what they say is possible for us? I mean, I feel you can. I've had experiences. You know, I'm going to give a short example like Cambell is. I hurt my foot about a year ago, even a year ago to the day almost, and I couldn't walk for a little while. And, you know, so I went to see a foot doctor here in Japan. And I read some reviews, and some lady said, well, he wasn't a good foot doctor because he didn't help my son, and my son needed surgery, and you know, so blah, 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 horrible doctor. And she had her surgery, so don't go see this doctor. So I said, okay, he's close to my house. I went to see him anyways. And at the time I was really having trouble walking. I was thinking maybe I need surgery, you know, and he said, fuck you, in his way. He goes, you know, you've just done this with your ligament. It doesn't really matter. Figure it out. You know, here's a heating pad, go home and fix it yourself, you know, and I was angry with him for a while. And I thought maybe I needed surgery, but I have to say, you know, 3 or 4 months of walking through the pain and figuring it out for myself and doing the massage and studies and, you know, whatever else is required to fix the ligaments and how you walk has worked, right? You know, several months later, I fixed it. Now there's no pain, there's no problem, no surgery, nothing crazy. And it was basically, you know, at the time, there was 2 paths, as Cambell just illuminated. You know, there's one path where you say the doctor's crazy, I'm going to go have someone cut my foot because that's going to help me. Again, not personal responsibility. But there's the other path which says figure it out yourself, learn how to massage, learn how to walk different, wear better shoes, whatever. But, you know, whatever it takes, and figure out how you got that way by yourself so you can literally walk your way out of it, which I have. And of course, you know, the best surgery is not to have surgery, as we probably all know, for any reason whatsoever. And, you know, literally changing even what's inside of you physically and changing your musculature and changing your ligature is possible, I've seen, by taking full responsibility. And from that step, who knows, maybe changing how you age, you know, changing how you digest, changing how you feel, changing how you see. You know, I've mentioned in these chats before, I fixed my eyes. So who knows what else can be fixed by taking responsibility for how you are and what you do. Yeah. And as Cambell said, well, you have to sit still for a year and figure something out. Maybe you're asking for that time to develop a new vocation, a new mind space, a new meditation, whatever it is for you. But if you take what's there as your responsibility, the power is also there for you to use that to enhance your life instead of, you know, derange it or hurt yourself.
Exactly. It's, you know, look, consider the bigger picture. You know, maybe things aren't happening to you. Maybe they're happening for you. You know, maybe everything that happens is a lesson, right? And it's there to teach us something and for us to learn, not for us to point and scream at and yell and go, poor little me, poor little me. You know, maybe this is the universe helping. You know, and it's back to this concept of, you know, maybe this isn't a bad place. Maybe it's not a prison planet. Maybe it is built for us and it's all good. But learning isn't, and growing isn't an easy thing. It's not like this simple thing. You don't go to the walk, you know, to the shop and back and come back a different person. You have to go through struggles and challenges. And to a lot of people, and I guess it's the way we've been programmed, we think or we see that as uncomfortable. But maybe that's also just perception because, you know, in all these tales we get, you know, of heroes and quests and heroes' journeys, you don't hear these people on these quests complaining. Right? They're happy because they're going somewhere, they're doing something, they're on a journey and a quest. We tend to see these things as, oh my God, it's a bit hard. Do I really have to get off the couch? You know, really? Do I have to? And I guess, we've become lazy. We've been taught to be lazy, with TVs and phones and computers and all this kind of stuff. But in the end, it's up to us. We can decide to be whoever we want. We can decide to believe the rhetoric, believe the story, or become, the authors of our own story, and just try things. Who knows? Just try things. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't work, you learn something, and it's just a mistake, and you go forward. So yeah, excuse me. I think this is all about, we need to get real, again, start with the man or woman in the mirror and understand that whatever's happening to you, you've created. So if you want to change it, just think something different, do something different, try something different. If that doesn't work, go, now I know 2 ways that don't work, try something different. And you might learn 3 ways that don't work, or you might learn 2 ways that don't work and 1 way that does. But if you keep going, you'll eventually get onto the truth and find what works. But if you sit down, throw your arms up and cry, you never will. You won't.
You give yourself your reality. Who knows what's possible? Anybody that's on the Autodidactic channel or looked at, and now knows the history is very different, knows there's been all kinds of potential that's not here at the moment, knows that there's probably, that's even only like, a small percentage of what has been dug up that could be dug up, or where we've gone, or where we go, or where we can go. And, and waiting for that to come to you, waiting for someone to, release iPhone 35 or the new app for, for how to choose, a better pie shop is ridiculous. You're waiting for someone to give you your reality, and maybe it's up to you to make your reality real. And if you don't know, or you're stuck, and a lot of people are, that's fine. I've been there 100 times. Cambell's probably been there. We've all been there. If all you can do is increase your energetic resources at the moment by getting healthier, by getting out of a bad relationship, by changing your jobs, by not arguing so much, by not eating so much, by not whatever, by exercising more. I mean, there's a million little things that a baby can figure out. That change your diaper more often, and change your psychological diaper more often if you like, and getting rid of the crap and the poisons, and detoxing. I mean, if you have to, it could be on a physical level, could be on a metaphysical level. Learn meditation, whatever. And those extra energy resources will be yours because you've claimed them, and then you can put them where you want. And if you want to put them fill in your own desires here, where you've seen the 3 or 4 ways you shouldn't do things, as Cambell said, the 4 mistakes in your relationships or your jobs or your physical well-being or whatever, take a moment, take a pause, figure out the difference. Cambell has been forced into a pause, with his hand. I was forced into a pause a year ago with my foot. And so we both had to take a bit of a break and figure out a different direction for how we wanted to create in our life and what we wanted to do. And, Cambell and I maybe we chatted the first time about a year ago. I'm not sure. So I think it was around then. Maybe we said hello. Yeah, it's about a year. So it's interesting that when Cambell was sidelined and I was sidelined and we both had a pause, now here we are a year later creating content on sharing how those pauses help. So I couldn't have guessed where I'd be. I just knew I wanted to be somewhere different. And I knew I wanted to walk a different path. So you never know, as long as you take responsibility, where you're going to grow.
Yeah, and if you're open to it as well, I think people define things to way too much. Like it's, to mention weight. People think, oh, I don't look right. I need to look like this, or I need to look like that person. I need to fit into this size dress. I need to, be this exactly by this date. Has to be this way. When you do that, you shut yourself off to possibilities. This is, and I've said it before. It's like God can think, or the creator, has a lot more, can think of a lot more better things for us to experience than we can. Let's put it that way. So when we're saying, give me this, we're limiting ourselves. We're cutting off things that could be so much better, just because we think that we, we have to define things and we have to be the boss and we have to take control and, it has to happen this way, in the 3D world. But then if you give up and go, well, everything's energy, everything's 5D world, really. What is this? What's the bigger meaning behind it? What, yeah, I'd like to be on land, growing my own food and have a house, but I'm not going to say that has to be in this state and it has to be exactly 10.4 acres big and it has to have a stream running through at 34 degrees. You just get the vision, and then you will, when you get there, you'll be like, oh my God, I didn't think of that. Oh, look at that lookout up there. Wow. And so this is the thing. Trust that it's getting back to the prison planet. You can believe it's a prison planet, run by evil people, or you can trust and believe it's good. And this is all for us and for our growth, and we get to create our reality. And that whatever's coming is good. As long as you don't start defining it as bad, then it has to be good, right? Because God is good, right? The devil is evil.
Yeah.
That's it.
I figure you'll get how I've seen it is you get something you never knew you always wanted. As soon as it shows up, right? You couldn't have guessed. You're going up a mountain. I had to travel. I remember for 2 weeks, go up a mountain, sleep on a concrete floor when I went to Mexico many years ago, until I woke up one morning. Then I had breakfast on the side of a mountain I didn't know was there the night before, and watched the sun come up, and I'm going, oh my goodness. It's the most beautiful breakfast, the most beautiful twilight. I'm totally in the middle of nowhere with a cliff that's going down. It looked like a mile from where I was sitting. But boy, the hardships and the stress and the pain and the suffering to get up there, right? And then you go, oh, that was worth it, but you never knew until then you get a vision or you get a feeling. And what do you keep at the end of your days? I mean, you can't carry the gold in your pockets, right? You can't carry a sports car up a mountain. You can't carry your new dining room set, up a tree. But those feelings, they get inside and they don't weigh anything, yet they have a huge impact and influence on your life. And once they're yours, no one can take them away. The bank can't come and repossess them. The government can't rule against them. You get divorced, that it can't be given away in a settlement or whatever. You lose a friend, they can't take it when they go. Those feelings are yours, hard fought as they are, forever. And who knows, maybe even beyond this life, you get to carry into infinity those beautiful moments that you mine or figure out or grow or fruit with or whatever, however you want to, whatever analogy you want to use. And it all comes, I find, or Cambell's found too, from taking responsibility for what's going on in your life.
Definitely. And ultimately that's who we become. That's what defines our frequency. What we give off is what we choose to take on board as good or bad. If we choose to take experiences and nature and learning and love, if we see them as the highest value, then that's what we'll be giving off. And obviously with that kind of an energy, people are like, they're attracted to you. They're like, wow, this person's about love and giving and people, but if we focus on, I just want the Ferrari and the 400 grand in my bank, and I don't care who I'm going to step on to get there. As you walk down the road, people will part because they'll feel you. And so for both things, that's who you've chosen to become. It's what we choose to believe and what we choose to take on board. That's who we become. So we can sit there and go, yep, okay, life is bad. It's a prison planet. I've got a job. I hate it, but I'm here for 80 years and then I die. So whatever, life sucks. I'm just going to go to the pub, get drunk and yell at someone. Or you can go, wow, this is just a grand adventure. And that's what, so yeah, it's the ideas that we take on board is who we become. They build our ethical base, basically, don't they? So, choose wisely. Who do you want to become like? If someone's saying, oh, do this, and you're looking at that person going, well, I don't really think you're successful, or I don't really want to, you're a bit dodgy. Don't take on their ideas, guys, because that's part of their energy. That's part of who they are. Just go, nah, go on over there.
I mean, it's like, if we're going to tie this into number 2, where we did the real you look at the law, you look at the changes, you look at your bank account, you look at your bonds, you look at all of these things supposedly being hidden from you. And I had an email with a fellow that's been chasing his bond and his bank account and his what have you for 8 years now. Right. And every time I email him, he's just around the corner there, I'm going to access all my money. But what are you doing? He's living in not such nice circumstances, 78 roommates, eating crap, wondering one day when he's going to find his hidden money that supposedly the government's been hiding on him forever. And he's finally going to have access to that large energy pool of so-called money that somehow was stolen from him. And I'm looking at it going, boy, is he, in my opinion, wasting his fucking time. What the hell is he doing? Like, he's still looking for daddy to give him his allowance that was supposedly taken away, because he was born in Canada and all the trees are his, or water, whatever, take your pick. And what a fucking waste of time, right? And one lady commented on our last video about that, about Dean Clifford, who supposedly fought and supposedly didn't register his car and supposedly didn't do it. And all they did was throw him in jail anyways, right? They kicked his door down, threw him in jail for 3 years, didn't charge him for anything. And was it illegal? Sure. Did they care? No. Did he lose 3 years of his life to stress? Fuck yeah. Yeah. Pardon my language again. Yes, he did.
He did.
So, so you look at the laws, it's wrong. Sure. You look at your money, it's hidden. Sure. You look at the taxes, they supposedly take 90% of your, big deal. Do something else then. Figure it out for yourself. Figure out a job that doesn't include taxes, whatever that is. Figure out a way to be alive that doesn't include laws or licenses. Play the game if you have to, cheat at the game if you have to, go sideways on the game if you have to. The bottom line is it's your life. So really, no one's watching you as close as you think they are, except perhaps you.
And it is just their game. It's just rules that men have. So it's not like it's, it's like it's divine. It's not like if you break the law that in your next life you're gonna be crippled or something. These are by men, and by bad, low vibration men and women. I would say it's your duty to not obey any of their stupid rules. But saying that, like you said, Dean Clifford, and he did a lot of study. He knew what he was on about, and he still ended up in jail for years and years and years. He lost money. He was fighting all the time. So maybe it would have been, and maybe he enjoyed it. I don't know, but maybe, it would have been a better decision to go, well, okay, it's their system. They've built it. Clearly they've built it so I can't win. It's stacked against me. So, and like I said before, extrapolating forward, if I do this, what's going to happen? They could throw me in jail. Do I want to take that risk, or would I maybe rather? Is it a better, option? Okay, they want $100 a year for this. Should I just pay them that and then stay out of jail? We've got to make decisions. And even though you don't want to give them money and that might not be good, in the long run, it might be a better decision at that point. We've got to be smart too. It's like if you might not want to pay your license, but if you're not ready to stand up in court and to stand up on the side of the road and talk to big men in suits with guns and stand in your power, then you don't want to be driving without a license. That's not going to end well. So this is all a journey. We need to learn these things and start living into it and gathering information and becoming, more sovereign. But we can't, it's like with everything. When you learn information, you can't expect to then just go straight to the end and have it all. Right. The government's illegal, so I'm never paying anything again. I'm ripping my plates off, and then you have a problem and you don't know what to do. You're just going to stand there and go, you're illegal, and you've got my bond money, give it to me. They're going to laugh at you and go, how about we give you this fine and you pay it, or we throw you in jail? And so, this is the thing. We need to be smart, and just think about what the consequences of decisions. If you're happy, if it's, I might go to jail for a year, but I don't care, go for it. But if you've got a family, you might want to rethink that,
I watched a video, I forget from who, but it seems really important, is rich people don't collect money, they collect power.
Yeah.
Right? And I would say, and that's what they collect, is they realize the value of money is someone's printing it in the basement somewhere. So saying, hey, someone's printing it so they owe me lots. No, you figure it's valueless other than what it does. And the rich people gain their power by having power over other people, which is their silly game, which is, to me, a losing game in the end. So you can gain your power by getting power over yourself. Who knows where that will take you? I think in some ways this kind of takes us back. Maybe we'll call this one the responsible you. What do you think, Cambell? The responsible you. Take responsibility, grow your own power, have your own savings, pay yourself the interest, give yourself that raise, take your own vacations, figure out how to nourish yourself, do what you need to do, no excuses.
Definitely. And think about the word responsible, able to respond. Okay, so you're able to respond to life situations and live properly. So that's what being responsible is. So there you go. Be responsible, able to respond.
Yay! I think we've done a good job with this one, Cambell. I've enjoyed it.
All right.
It's been fun. Always I'm tired when they start. Always have more energy when they're over. I think
Yeah, I know,
that's
me
the bottom line
too.
too for the challenges. I never know where they're going. And as Cambell and I are growing these new seeds of fruit for ourselves, as well as you, the people on this journey, I watch it grow and I watch it root and I watch new ideas come, even as we're having these conversations, just because we're allowing for them. And I'm getting some ideas and things are blossoming and blooming. And, just by doing something, perhaps a part of me didn't want to do, but I do it anyways because my heart is saying it's a good idea. It's working out very well. It's working out for us. Good for you too, wherever you guys are. Comment, leave some links below. We're happy you're here on this journey. We love you all.
Definitely. Join our Telegram group as well. Links below. And yeah, guys, the power is in you. So let's keep going forward on the Odyssey of Truth. And of course, leave us comments with anything that you think that we should talk about, or any ideas you've got so we can broach them. But because we're all pieces of the puzzle, right? And together we can sort anything out and overcome any mistakes that we may encounter.
I'm going to leave one last thing. Easy way to change, freedomshift.life. We'll leave the links below. It's a way to change your spending to make a better life. It's an easy way to start on the path away from some of the responsibilities of the tyrants, or away from some of the tyrannical rules these days. If you want more information, you want to reach out, we're happy to help you in so many ways.
Yep. Be the change you want to see, guys. The world is changing, so time for us to change as well. Thanks for your time. We love you all. Leave us a comment and we'll talk to you all on the next Odyssey of Truth Part 3. Bye for now.
Yay. Bye for now.
Light of my heart. No one tells me where I should start. Freedom first is what I say.